Hello fellow wholehearted high achievers, welcome to Hanging with Hang. Today in this video I am going to respond directly one of the requests from our community of how to deal with self-doubt. Here's the thing, self-doubt is not fun to have. Being a high achiever, you probably experience the spiral of self-doubt can go, and when you go into that monkey brain abyss, as I call it when I talk to one of my mentee, my only mentee this week, is that it spiral, it keep going, and it can be extremely exhausted. And especially when the thoughts are self-doubt, it affects your self-confidence, it affects your self-esteem, it's affecting your performance in your life, a performance in your relationship, it's affecting you from stretch your full potential. Not to sound too cliche. So, as you know how I do it, I like to break down into points so it's easy to digest. And here's my 5 simple points on self-doubt that is the intent to help you move through it gracefully and to stop self-doubt on the track so then you don't get caught in that vicious cycle, so you're not in that funk for a long time. So first, point number 1 is I think it's important to understand the nature of thoughts. When you have self-doubt, you either get triggered by something or someone to make you question about yourself and to make you question about your ability, and that's a sucky place to be, right? So there's 2 sub-key within this. Is depend on what the trigger is, and the trigger could take you to a specific place in your life where something actually happens and it hasn't healed, so then whatever happened now bring that trigger up so you feel very intense and it's very easy to get into that spiral. So here is an opportunity for you to really visit where that wound come from and heal that emotional wound. So that's piece number 1 within point 1. And piece number 2 is even if you heal those wounds, self-doubt is a form of thought. And thoughts is the way that you wire in your body. This body package is one of my former clients like to say it, it's the meat body. And the way that you wire thoughts is something that you don't have control over how or when they come in. But what you can do is learn how to facilitate those thoughts. And if you haven't already, I would suggest to reference one of the video I made about the monkey brain, how to stop a monkey brain. That's a great way to really learn how to facilitate a thought. So that's point number 1. And point number 2 is when you have self-doubt, it's really important to give yourself space to process the healing, process the thought. And here is where you can do so many different things, right? You can sit and breathe, you can do EFT tapping, you can do NLP, you can do therapy, there's so many different ways of processing it. But the bottom line is you got to give a space for the self-doubt to work through, whether it's some past unresolved wound or whether it's your current way of thinking. So that's point number 2. And number 3 is, my friend, give your self-doubt a form of acceptance of what it is without judging it. Because what happens is when you have self-doubt, you question your ability, and then in that process of questioning, you're going to have a tendency to want to judge it. And when you judge it, make that questioning, and it's become a vicious cycle. So give it space as you process, accept it. Okay, so I have this doubt, and then allow for the thought to move through you, because your thought and your feeling, they are not permanent. Please remember that. Give it a chance to move through. And then 4 is when you let it move through. And here's the thing. When you go into the process of self-doubt, you can measure your intensity from 0 to 10. 10 is like, I'm very doubting. It could be an intellectual thinking, but it's actually a feeling, right? And in my experience of doing this work for a long time and personally go through for a long time, if your intensity at the 10 more than a 3, it's really hard to try to reason with yourself. So when you bring that intensity down to whatever form modality that you're using, when you go down to a 3 or a 2, that's when you actually can choose. And you can choose a reframe of choose, okay, so this particular situation, what would you like to choose to think about the situation. So are you inadequate? Do you want to say, I'm inadequate, I'm stupid, am I good enough to do this? Is this person a right person for me? You can, self-doubt comes in a different form, right? So you could consciously choose your thought. That's point number 4, is how do you want to choose to think through this? That is reflecting the truth. I'm not saying just to make shit up. To really connect to what is the truth. Are you really that inadequate, right? And here's another point to reference to another video I did on when things doesn't work out. It's come down to 2 pieces. One is whether you're in alignment with yourself. Whether 2 is the logistical skill. It's come down to that. So when you come to this space of choose to think, really choose to, okay, am I working on the alignment piece or am I working on the logistical piece? So then you can peacefully, confidently moving forward. Which I would take you to a practical step, point number 5. After watching this video, I suggest you to take a moment to write down the opposite of what your self-doubts are. That is true to you. Just 3 points, just 3 things about yourself that is true. That's not BS. And then, between now and the next video that I'm sharing with you, is to look at yourself in the mirror and say those things. To confirm that, to plant that seed within yourself. Because the opposite of self-doubt is self-confidence, right? A certainty within yourself. 3 statements that make you feel certain about yourself. Here's the thing. Self-doubt make you feel bad. Self-certainty help yourself feel good. So why not do the thing that help yourself feel good more? So 3 things. I am, fill in the blank. I am amazing. I am really good at my job. I am beautiful, whatever that may be, with certainty, and you feel it. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't just say stuff that is not true, like people teach you about affirmation stuff. It's important that you feel that. So with that, my friend, I hope that will help you release and shift some of the self-doubt that you may be experiencing right now. And so you can be free and be certain of yourself. So with that, thank you so much for being here. If you find this video helpful, please feel free to share to people that you know that can use this, and subscribe and put a notification if you want more video like this in the future. Thank you for hanging with me, and as always, you've got love, and sending you a big ass hug from here to you, from my heart to yours.